Hey guys, welcome back to the Great Outdoors. You know, last time we talked, I had found a Sears, that's right, a Sears spin cast reel that a buddy of mine had called me about at an antique store, and I went to get it and wound up coming home with 5 reels instead of 1. That's right, three Johnson Centuries. One was made by Sears and actually isn't bad. The other is this one that I don't know what is, and I want to dive into this little thing and see if we can't figure out what makes it tick, if it's worth having, and whatever the company may have been. So let's jump into this thing. And the only thing I'm noticing, it's got a big old mouth on it. It's considerably smaller, and I would say very child oriented. The length of the crank arm is just tiny. The thickness of the push button is almost non-existent. A McDonald's French fry, I think, is about the same width. Its biggest personality trait is that it has a big mouth hole on the cap, and it's green. And what's really funny is that all 5 of the reels I ended up buying are all green. How did that happen? Got 2 bowls here just in case. Let's get this cap off of here. It is a threaded cap. It's not just a quarter turn cap. It's actually threaded, and it's a really nice looking cap. Very well put together. Okay, here is your rotor section there. It has some strange retrieval pin there. I'm trying to figure out how they did it. It looks like they doubled it over and squeezed it down, which is just a cheap trick, really, is all that is. Now you're probably noticing, if you care in any way, shape, or form, that I'm wearing the same clothes that I had on in the last video. That's because the last video is still the same day as the other video, and I still have the same clothes on. I'm not changing my clothes for that. Okay, that is weird. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that before. There's a gear in the top here, but we do have a C-clip. Let's pop that out of there. There you go. It is metal. Pull this spool off of here. Alright, we have a decent looking spool. Small, very small. We've got things here that I've never seen before ever. Drag is extremely strange, but very loose. I mean, the grease isn't even hard in this stuff. This thing is just, I mean, I'm not seeing a whole lot of work to do here. The shaft has got to come out though. I can tell that already because it's thick. So let's take the side cover off first. Long screw that goes through the crank, or not through the crank, but actually through the button. Do we have a long one here too? Nope, short screw there. So long screw goes through the button. Okay. C-clip. Okay, now we should be able to pull the shaft straight out. Alright, we have a spring, a gear with appears to be no washer. Doesn't appear to be a washer here, but this gear mechanism, I think I have to take that screw out to get that out to be able to clean it. Whoa, it's got a spring in it too. Let's not lose that. Okay, well that doesn't take it out. Let's take this crank off here and take a look at, because I don't know that I need to take that apart. I think there's a keeper ring on the bottom down here you have to pop off, and then this whole section comes out. This will actually unscrew, I believe. If you put a screwdriver in there and turn it out, it'll twist out of there. But it's moving so easily, I don't see a reason to do that. All this other fancy schmancy stuff here, I'm trying to figure out how it works. This does not have a star washer. It has a regular lock washer, which is fine. This thing may not have done a lot of fishing in its day. In order to get the gear out, you have to take the plastic drag knob off, which is also Phillips head only. I may never get this one back together again. This one is very overthought. For a little tiny reel, very overthought. There's some kind of wire, springy doodah, and I don't know where that went to, what that hooked to. Okay, yeah I do. Yeah I do, just had to look inside. Everything's good. There's a little stop in there right underneath where that shaft comes through that this thing hooks onto. But this thing's, I mean, it ain't even dirty. I can't tell if somebody's had it apart already. There's no way this is the actual grease and stuff that came in it. Somebody has had this apart before. I might have to thank somebody. I don't know who, but somebody. For such a tiny reel, this thing is really overthought. It is amazing. All right, let's try really hard to get this little spring back in there. Now see, this little spring's got a little brass push piece which goes inward, and I don't know what that's even for. Why would that be there? Now you got this little set screw that's got to go in there. Well, any of you folks that have ever seen one of these, please let me know. I don't know what this thing is, but it really doesn't move very well when you put that piece back in it again. Let's see if I can squish some grease down in that thing. That make it move any easier? Not a doggone bit. Now, I ain't going to sit here and tell you I'm digging this one too much. I mean, I'm glad I got it because I really am enjoying seeing how it works. And you got to fit this thing like a puzzle. Okay, you got that? I don't know if you can see any of this. There's a little spring that's on the outside edge that goes around the gear. That spring has to go around the outside of this pinion piece here, so I guess that's your anti-reverse. So if any of you are looking for any information on this reel, you have come to the wrong channel. I do not know. All I can show you is how it comes apart, and I'm not really doing a great job with that. Now, this is going to be fun. Getting this back in there with the spring back on it. I paid $6 for this little reel. And I'm thinking the information, the learning curve here is cool. I'm digging that. But am I enjoying the rest of the reel itself? No, not much. Fortunately, the spring is not overly strong, but I need to be able to pick this little C-clip up. Okay, that was easier than I thought it was going to be. So far, I think I've said that quite a few times. Okay, short screw went to this side. Now, line this hole up with the button. Everything is working peachy dandy there. Do I want to put that back on now? Yeah, let's go ahead and put the crank back on now. Put that back on. Lock washer on. Acorn nut on. This is a Berkeley line removal device that I got from Dan. Dan Selvig sent it to me because he saw me on one of my videos struggling one day. But when I take these spools off like this, you take that line winder right there, you got a hole on the side, hit the button, run it through, it catches that line. Then what I'll do is I will take a screwdriver and put it on the spool. I'll tighten the line up like that, and then I will just let the spool take off like a bullet. Got enough grease around there. We're going to put this spool back on here like that. Rotor. Snug it with the screwdriver. It's hard to turn because of that thing on the inside. I don't care for that a bit, but it does work. So I'm not sure if this little guy here ended up being bonus footage to the end of the Sears reel or not, but in answer to the question, you know, are these just cheap knockoffs of Johnson Company reels, Centuries, or Citations? I would say no. I definitely am going to say that they depended on the green. That's personal opinion, but I would say yes, they dove on the green bandwagon because Johnson was at that time the king of the green, and they were selling a lot of reels back then. So again, personal opinion, but I think that's why these guys are green. This is a Sears. I don't know who made it for Sears. It's Japanese. This is Japanese as well, with no name. It used to have one, but it fell off, so I have no idea what it is. This reel, I would have owned, maybe by mistake or accident, but I do believe this reel will go out and fish pretty well. This little guy here, I nicknamed it OK because there's a lot of overkill inside that little tiny package right there. I would say that this was more designed for a child. It's really small. An adult can use it, I'm sure, but its design is just not there. I mean, it does work. Everything works. The drag is going to work. Everything is going to work. But it's just not well designed. It's overkill. There's too much stuff going on in there. But I am looking forward to using both of these. I am looking very forward to trying both of them out. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you on the next one, whatever the next one might be. But then again, you never know with me. I might try to cook a hot dog behind the exhaust of a 1970 Dodge Challenger. You just never know. You just don't know. That's the cool part about me. You just don't know. My wife says it all the time. You just never know. Boo even says it. What do you think, Boo? What do you know about me? Anything? You don't know crap about me, Boo.